Welcome, everybody. Bo here, Football Talk, and we are doing Week 10 picks. So, starting it off, Thursday Night Football. It's really not even brought to you by Prime anymore. At this point, I think it's just by wish. It has been some pretty terrible games most of the year, and this one is probably going to be mostly about the same. It's Atlanta against Carolina, and I think Atlanta wins this game just because obviously Carolina is essentially given up on the year. They don't even know who they are using as a quarterback week to week. So Atlanta probably goes in and wins this game relatively easily, but it's probably going to be some ugly football. Sunday morning, we have the Munich game, Seattle versus Tampa Bay. Now, Seattle has been undefeated as far as overseas games, and Brady is also undefeated in overseas games. So one of these two teams is going to get their first loss overseas, and I think it's going to be Tampa Bay getting the L. So I got Seattle, technically as the road team, getting the win there. I have Buffalo beating Minnesota. Now, this one could go either way, especially because we don't really know how injured Josh Allen is. So Minnesota could come up and surprise, especially, again, it's the early slot. So the NFL has been super kind to a quarterback that is terrible in prime time. That being said, I don't think Buffalo loses 2 weeks in a row. So I have Buffalo at home. I'm going to take Detroit over Chicago. Both teams are terrible. Chicago is probably the better team, but I'd like to see Detroit finally do something. And so since they got a win last week, maybe they are enjoying the flavor of a win and can try and do it 2 weeks in a row. So I'm going to take Detroit as a mild upset on the road over Chicago. I got KC at home over Jacksonville. Jacksonville's so inconsistent that, I mean, they're tough to pick in any given week. And then, of course, going against Mahomes and company, they easily win at home, I think. I got Miami over Cleveland. Cleveland isn't showing me anything that makes me think that they can kind of, hang with Miami. So I have Miami at home. I got the Giants at home over Houston. Again, the Texans, they're bad. And the Giants have looked solid. And I don't see anything from the Texans that shows that they're going to slow down Saquon Barkley. So I figure New York gets that win, especially at home. I have New Orleans on the road over Pittsburgh. Again, with Kyle Pitts, you don't really know what you're getting each week. So I'm going to take a little bit more consistency out of the New Orleans team to get that win on the road. I have Tennessee over Denver. Tennessee's at home. That Denver defense, although good, probably has a hard time stopping Derrick Henry. So I'm going to take Tennessee. This one I've gone back and forth on. So in light of Frank Reich getting fired, their rookie stepping in at quarterback, Jeff Saturday as the new interim coach, I'm going to go with the Raiders win at home. That's just a lot of distraction for 1 week getting ready for a Raiders game. So I'm going to go Raiders finally get a win. And so they'll be at home. I'm going to take Dallas on the road in Green Bay. Green Bay is another just dumpster fire at the moment. At 3-6, you almost have to wonder if they're going to try and just save Rodgers for next year and maybe figure out what Love actually is, right? Is he an effective backup? Is he an actual successor to Rodgers? At this point, he hasn't played enough to really have any idea. And sitting at 3-6, I feel like now you can probably start playing around with, seeing what you have as far as depth. So I'm going to take Dallas on the road. Dallas is obviously the better team. I'm going to go with Arizona on the road over LA. This one's interesting because obviously this can also go either way, but the Rams have played so bad that I think Arizona can go and snag this win. Plus, Arizona is going to be fighting really hard because if they lose this and the next game, all of a sudden you're looking at, potential coaching changes. So I feel like they're going to be playing extremely hard to, stop this losing, trend that they're doing. So I'm going to go with Arizona on the road. I have San Fran at home over the Chargers. The Chargers are super inconsistent, and they will probably struggle to move the ball real effectively against the Niners defense. So that Sunday night game should be fun to watch, but I think San Fran gets it done at home. And then the Monday night game, Philly should be able to walk right through the Commanders. The Commanders are another team that is not playing super well. So I don't think that the Commanders will be Philly's first loss of the year, especially there in prime time. So Philly probably gets it done. Subscribe, let me know which picks you agree with and which ones you don't, and check out some other shows.